Tokyo DisneySea is the best theme park in the world. Let's just get that out there. The sheer scale, attention to detail, high quality immersive storytelling and theming, and vibe and atmosphere of the park is impossible to capture on camera. The feeling you get from visiting Tokyo DisneySea is the spirit of adventure and exploration condensed into its purest form. It truly feels like entering a fantasy world and embarking on a magical journey. Tokyo DisneySea is split into 8 different areas, all themed to ports and harbors around the world, themed to myths and legends of the sea. So let's go through each of these 8 different areas and I'll share my highlights of the park. Starting off at the entrance, you have Mediterranean Harbour, and the first impression I had was speechless. My jaw was on the floor. I couldn't believe how incredibly detailed and beautiful this place was. The attention to detail is unparalleled. No stone was left unturned, no cost was spared, and no corners were cut. They thought of anything and everything and beyond. This place is so vibrant and vivid and beautiful, it feels more real than real life itself. Everything you see, feel, hear, and touch is straight out of a picture book or a work of art, and the Oriental Land Company have utilized the medium of theme parks to their full potential. It's not just a place to have a bit of fun and go on a couple of rides, it's truly an interactive piece of storytelling that you immerse yourself in and you become part of. And as an aspiring creative person, someone interested in writing, directing, filmmaking, I can't begin to capture how grateful I am that somewhere like this exists that taps into that spirit of creativity and storytelling on such a visceral level. This is truly the most immersed I've felt in anything. I completely forgot I was in Japan, and I forgot I was on planet Earth. I just felt like I'd walked into a storybook. The architecture, the buildings, the music, it's such a beautiful first impression, and as soon as you enter onto the main archways, you're met with an incredible view of Mount Prometheus, the main centerpiece of Tokyo DisneySea. The Mediterranean harbour area is beautiful. There's so much to look at. Everywhere you turn, you're met with something fascinating and beautiful. This is a very loving recreation of the romantic vision of a lot of Mediterranean and European seaside towns and cities. There's all kinds of shops, restaurants, cafes to look at, streets and side alleys to get lost amongst, and so many hidden details and intricate qualities that you could visit this place 100 times and still not become fully acquainted with it. There are lots of costume characters out and about, such as Pinocchio, Jiminy Cricket, Geppetto, and Honest John. To start off our visit here, we enjoyed a meal at one of the cafes towards the entrance, which was very busy. We had to wait a long time to get in here. And to eat, I had a melon pan bun shaped like Mike Wazowski, which was delicious. There was also an incredible brass band performing, which was fantastic. I got some of my favorite footage ever of these talented musicians. The highlight of the Mediterranean harbour area is the soaring attraction, which is a twist on the soaring attraction that you get over in the US, and this was a much more elegant and classy twist on the idea, which was already fantastic. This was beautiful. This was themed to a sort of explorers guilds club type thing with lots of artifacts and contraptions and inventions from around the world. And the ride itself is only half of the experience. The rest is enjoying the queue, the pre-show, the amazing atmosphere and music. The ride itself is fantastic. It's such a lovely experience flying over the world, going to all these iconic destinations and cities and places. It's beautiful. Next, we made our way along to the Mysterious Island, which was my most anticipated destination at Tokyo DisneySea. Growing up, I was fascinated by steampunk. The whole aesthetic and style was so fascinating to me, and it gave me a deep appreciation of the past and the ingenuity and the creativity of inventions that led to a lot of modern technology. There's something very romantic about those early inventions, and imagining what would happen if things sort of just developed onwards from that steam-powered, steampunk sort of vibe. This area is obviously inspired by Jules Verne. The two main attractions here are, of course, Journey to the Center of the Earth and 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. This is a full 360-degree immersive land. It's like no place on Earth. You are fully transported away, and it's unbelievable. Let's start off with 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, which is an attraction I didn't know anything about. In fact, I didn't know this attraction existed until we got to the park, because it's overshadowed so much by the Golden Child ride, Journey to the Center of the Earth, which we'll come back to soon. This is a dark ride where you enter a submarine and travel deep at the bottom of the ocean. I was not prepared for this. This was on a whole different level of immersion. The effects and technology they use truly feel like you're going underwater in the submarine, and it's very claustrophobic and scary, but also very exciting. The ride itself is super dark. It's a bit difficult to film, so you'll have to excuse me if my footage didn't turn out the greatest. The ride vehicles are very large. It's split up into 3 different sections where you can choose a window to sit by, and each window has a little flashlight you can operate to search around the ride itself and highlight all the hidden details, and there's so much stuff to look at here. It's unbelievable. It's really scary but cool. There's lots of sea creatures and ancient civilizations and a terrifying sea monster kraken type thing with this electrifying effect. This ride is insane. It's absolutely incredible, and I don't have words to describe this park. I'm at a loss here. I don't know how to share how brilliant it is without making this video hours and hours long. Alright, now is time for the main event, Journey to the Center of the Earth. During our visit, this was closed for maintenance, but on our final day, it was finally reopening, and we got a grand total of 1 ride on it. We had to use the Fast Pass because the queues for this attraction are absolutely insane. I'm talking like 2, 3, 4 hours, and I would be willing to wait that long because the queue experience looks incredible, but we simply didn't have the time, so we had to skip past the queue. By the way, this is how brilliant Tokyo DisneySea is. The fact that skipping the queue feels like missing out on something is ridiculous. You don't experience that anywhere else in the world, because the immersion is so advanced and high quality that the queues itself are experiences within themselves. You enter into a rustic elevator which takes you down to the center of the earth, and it's very convincing. The effect is done incredibly well because it is actually an elevator, but rather than literally going down, it's actually in fact going up where the station is, and the station is insane. The ride vehicles are beautiful. They're like nothing else. This is an attraction that is in its own category. There's nothing else quite like it. I didn't even bother trying to film this attraction because I knew in doing so I would be missing out on the amazing experience, and I'm so glad I didn't try to film this ride. A, because it would be impossible. It's very dark and subtle, and B, because I would have missed the whole experience, because it is quite a short attraction, but boy does it pack a punch. This thing is so impressive. The scale and detail and the animatronics, the sound, the lighting, everything is a masterpiece, with an incredible grand finale that packs quite a punch considering it's not actually a roller coaster. This ride is beautiful. Making our way out of Mysterious Island, we headed over to the Mermaid Lagoon area, which is themed to the Little Mermaid. This is the area of the park we probably spent the least amount of time in, but it's no less impressive than anywhere else in the park. There's an amazing indoor area with all kinds of flat rides and attractions mainly targeted towards the younger guests, and this place is incredible. I really wanted to spend more time here, but we didn't have a lot of time left, so we sort of had to rush through here, but it was really impressive. We did get to enjoy the Flounders Flying Fish Coaster. Luckily, we walked past just as it was reopening after a technical issue, so we luckily got to skip the entire queue and get straight on this. And this was really fun. It was a good little family coaster. I'm not sure I would wait the full ride time to get on this, but if you can manage to get a quick ride on it, I definitely recommend it. Next we crossed over to the Arabian coast, which was amazing. This place is so cool. I love the atmosphere here. We got to see the genie and Jafar seemingly reaching some kind of peace treaty and taking photos with the guests. It was really cool. There's this huge courtyard area with amazing architecture, and it really feels palatial and grand, like you're exploring this beautiful space. There's a really cool multi-story carousel attraction that we got to enjoy, and I usually wouldn't go on an attraction like this, but it's so unique and interesting that we had to give it a go, and it was really cool. A very magical ride that we enjoyed at nighttime. There's also an amazing restaurant, which is enormous. This place was huge, and the food was really, really good, but I don't know what they were putting in the curry because all around we noticed that everyone seemed to be falling asleep at their tables. I don't think anything was wrong with the food. I think it was because the place was so immersive and relaxing, and I kind of felt like nodding off myself. This area is a lot of fun to explore, there's so much to look at and see, and honestly any area of Tokyo DisneySea would be an incredible theme park within its own right. The highlight of the Arabian Coast area, and one of the highlights of Tokyo DisneySea in general, is The Adventures of Sinbad, which is a beautiful dark water ride with an original storyline. The idea for this ride is sort of like a Disney film that never existed. This ride takes you on the journey with Sinbad and his adorable pet tiger cub Chandu on a mythological journey sailing around the sea, and this is one of the most beautiful attractions I've ever experienced. It's so incredible and wholesome and lovely. It's got a fantastic soundtrack written by the Disney songwriter Alan Menken. It's got a really beautiful message. The song is called Compass of Your Heart, and it's all about following your inner compass, I guess, to take you on your journey. It's a fantastic ride, and we went on this many times because luckily the queue time isn't too long. It's got a great throughput. It's definitely something you do have to re-experience a few times because there's so many details. I love this ride so much. During our trip, Fantasy Springs, the new area for Tokyo DisneySea, had recently opened, and it was high in demand. This was very tricky to get into, and we had to use a lot of hacks and tricks to get our way in there because it was sort of closed off for limited time access. It's a bit of a puzzle to actually get into this space, and I don't quite understand it. I'm not going to attempt to explain it because the other members of my family were much better equipped than I was, and they somehow got us in there about 3 or 4 times. This is sort of an anomaly in Tokyo DisneySea because on one hand it's incredibly beautiful and one of the greatest themed areas of any theme park in the world, but it does feel somewhat out of place. It almost feels like it would be better suited to Tokyo Disneyland rather than Tokyo DisneySea. But I'm not complaining because it's incredible. It's a beautiful place and there's so much to look at and so much to do. The first attraction we went on here was the Peter Pan ride, which I didn't really know anything about. I'd seen some videos leading up to it and I had sort of brushed it off because it had screens. I didn't really have any expectation for it. I mean, it looked really cool, but it wasn't something I was thinking about. I wasn't planning my visit around that ride, but we luckily got on this and I was blown away. I did not expect this to be so fantastic and beautiful. This is the first theme park attraction in the world to make me cry from how moving I found it. I'm not really sure why I found it so emotional. I think it's because growing up, my dad was always a big fan of Peter Pan, and I always watched that movie growing up, and that sort of spirit of youthful adventure and exploration is just really special to me. And this fully tapped into that. It sort of awoke things within me that I'd forgotten about, and I felt like my inner child came out or something and just fully resonated with the music and the atmosphere. I was blown away. This was a beautiful ride. I think it's very easy to form a negative opinion of any ride that has screens, but when used correctly, screens can really enhance an attraction. I don't think every ride in the world should have screens, that's not what I'm saying, but the way they're used in this particular attraction is masterful. Like many theme park attractions, one thing that's impossible to capture through camera is the actual sensation of the movement of the ride itself. And this attraction does so many incredible things. The ride's vehicle moves in ways that you can't really predict, and you truly get the sensation of flying and soaring around the sky, exploring the world of Peter Pan. It's beautiful. And it made me cry not only once, but twice, because we got to enjoy this ride a couple of times, and I found it as resonant and beautiful the second time as I did the first. The next ride we enjoyed was the Tangled ride, which was very popular. This is a very unique ride because it features indoor sections and outdoor sections, and it's really incredible. It's definitely on the shorter side, but it definitely packs a punch. There's so much stuff fit into this, and it's really beautiful. The highlight, of course, is the lantern scene, which is probably the most romantic moment from any theme park ride. This is beautiful. And I know I'm saying the word beautiful a lot, but I really can't find any better word to describe the attractions at this park. The next attraction we went to was the Frozen Dark ride, which is very unique among the other Frozen rides around the world at other Disney parks, because rather than simply recounting the events of the film, this sort of focuses more in on Anna and Elsa's relationship and the fracture that they suffer, and it tells it in a really tasteful and artistic way. It sort of reinterprets the story and comes at it from a very unique angle, which I thought was fantastic. It was a really fun way to re-experience the story. The frozen area of Fantasy Springs is amazing. It's such a beautiful space, but the most interesting thing about this area was the sheer amount of Anna and Elsa cosplayers. They're everywhere. It's like Into the Spider-Verse. There's clones of Anna and Elsa everywhere you look. You look over here, oh look, Anna and Elsa. You turn around, oh, Anna and Elsa. And you walk a few feet, oh, another Anna and Elsa. They're everywhere. There's Annas and Elsas all over this place. It's mental. This is not a usual occurrence, by the way. This is because during our visit to Tokyo DisneySea, we visited during Halloween time and Christmas time. And during the Halloween season, all the cosplayers go crazy. They get out their costumes and they visit these parks, which are the perfect places to take photos and become the characters that they worship. And Fantasy Springs becomes Anna and Elsa land, which is hilarious and awesome. There's a couple of places to eat in Fantasy Springs. You can eat at the Snuggly Duckling from the Tangled film, which was awesome. I love this place. They had some really delicious food, and I enjoyed the burgers here very much. And surprise, surprise, there's a lot to look at in here as well. This is a whole experience, and you probably want to spend a bit of time looking around and enjoying all the sights and sounds. There's also a Lost Boys themed dining option from Peter Pan, which was really cool. This whole space is really whimsical and silly. There's lots of childlike paintings and drawings and scribblings, and it's so fun and so cute. There's also an awesome Skull Island from Peter Pan with the pirate ship, which you can actually go onto. This is so cool. There's so much stuff to look at, I can't capture all of it, and I don't want to make this video like 2 hours long because I don't have time to edit that much. There's also some incredible gardens and fountain displays at the back end of Fantasy Springs, which are all themed to the different Disney princesses and films and Mickey Mouse and things. This is incredible. Exiting Fantasy Springs, we made our way to the Lost River Delta, which is sort of a South American, Amazonian sort of area. And the two main attractions here are both themed to Indiana Jones. The first one is Raging Spirits, the Indiana Jones coaster, which I had PTSD from its sister clone at Disneyland Paris, because that coaster was rough. That was a mess, and it gave me serious issues. It's to blame for a lot of my reluctance to ride slightly more thrilling coasters, because I rode that when I was very young. It was very uncomfortable, and my head was banging from side to side. I didn't like it at all. So I was a little bit nervous to go on this, but I'm glad I gritted my teeth and went on it anyway, because this thing is buttery smooth. This is nothing like the version in Disneyland Paris. It's the complete opposite, in fact. It's so smooth and so pleasant and so enjoyable. It's not scary at all, it's just really nice. But it does get very, very busy. So a handy trick to get on this faster is to use the single rider queue, which is what Theme Park Ogre and myself did. And we skipped a 2-hour queue to get on this in about 20 or 30 minutes, which is much, much better. Moving along the Lost River Delta, there's a lot to see here as well. There's a really fantastic dining option which is themed to Coco. It's sort of a Mexican style dining option with some really, really delicious food. This was some of the best food at the park. They had some delicious burritos and wraps and things. I love this, and it's so nice sitting by the river where you get to see the boat go past, which I'll come back to soon. And next, for the absolute highlight of any theme park in the entire world, this is my favorite ride ever, and I did not expect it. I sort of glossed over this when thinking of the park. There's so many other sort of iconic attractions that get the attention, but this is my favorite ride ever. This is insane. Indiana Jones Adventure Temple of the Crystal Skull. I can't explain how much I love this ride. It's so good. It's on a different level. The scale of this thing is impossible to capture. The queue experience, you truly feel like you're in the Indiana Jones films exploring this temple. It's very ominous and scary. You feel like you're getting closer and closer to this terrifying adventure. And since I didn't really know anything about this ride, I wasn't really prepared. I was gonna try and film it, just get some good footage. But my mum, who had been on a similar ride at one of the other Disney parks, was very stern and told me, you don't want to film this, you want to experience this and remember it. So I followed her advice, and I'm so glad I did, because now I have a favorite attraction in the world, and I don't think anything else is going to come close to topping it, to be honest. I usually say I had my jaw on the floor as figurative or a metaphor, but I literally had my jaw hanging open the whole time. I was in disbelief. I couldn't believe this ride. This is the best thing ever. It looks good on camera, but in real life the scale is so huge, you can't capture how big the spaces you travel through actually are. These enormous cavernous chambers and rooms with effects I don't really understand how they were doing. Arrows zipping past your head, tornadoes forming in front of your eyes, and then of course the movement of the ride. I can't capture the movement of the ride because this is incredibly intense. I was genuinely worried I was going to fall out of the ride at many points, so drop my bag. We got to experience this a couple of times, and on one of my rides, the Japanese teenagers in front of us were almost falling out of the ride. They were literally hanging onto it, like leaning off the side, not to be silly, but because it was that intense. Not in a bad way, but in an immersive way, on point with the story and theme of the ride. If you can visit Tokyo DisneySea, this is an attraction you have to get on. Leaving Lost River Delta and having my life changed by my new favorite ride in the world, there's Port Discovery, which, similar to Mermaid Lagoon, we didn't really spend too much time here because we kind of crossed through here at sort of liminal transient points in the day when it was getting dark and we couldn't really see too much. So this is definitely something I'll have to come back to in the future and experience one day. Passing through Port Discovery on the way to the American waterfront, the final area for our visit, you cross through this beautiful little town. It's like something straight out of a cheesy Hallmark movie. It's so beautiful and wholesome and nice. This like Cape Cod style town, and we visited during Christmas time and it was so magical. It's the most Christmassy I've ever felt. For the final area of our visit to Tokyo DisneySea, the American waterfront, this is so grand and so luxurious. I think the fact that this area has a full-scale recreation of a cruise liner speaks for itself. What other park in the world has this? None. You don't get this anywhere else. This is a full-on cruise liner that you can go inside, walk around, go up onto the decks and look out at the park where you get amazing views. We saw the Christmas fireworks show from up here, which was beautiful. There's a lovely looking restaurant on the ship as well, which we didn't get a chance to dine in, but looks fantastic. It also seemed to be a really popular spot among younger guests to film TikTok dances, which was very funny. Out of all the places at the park, I'm not sure why this spot was the TikTok zone in particular, but hey, that's fair enough. The American waterfront area is a very loving interpretation of New York City. It's a very sanitized version of New York, and it's so nice and so atmospheric and beautiful here. And it wouldn't be a visit to New York City without enjoying a hot dog, or a hotdogu, as they call it in Japan. Very tasty snack, classic American style cuisine. This place is amazing. It's just an absolute joy to walk around this spot, especially at nighttime. It's really special and magical. As I said, we visited during Christmas time, and it was decorated with so many lovely trees and lights and all the music playing. There was an amazing jazz band playing in this courtyard area, which were fantastic and very popular. The final ride for our visit to Tokyo DisneySea was terrifying. This was something I was dreading and excited for all at the same time. It loomed throughout my entire visit because it's impossible to miss. It's the Tower of Terror. And this is a truly ominous, terrifying looking attraction. It really towers above you. And the architecture and vibe this thing gives off is really spooky and ominous. And at nighttime when you see the green flash of lightning and hearing the screams of people about to plunge all the way down, I got a little flutter of butterflies in my stomach, knowing that I wanted to go on this ride so badly because I love the spooky atmosphere and the creepy vibes, but I hate thrills. I'm not a fan of the sensation of dropping, so I was terrified of this. But I knew I had to do it. I had to go on this thing. I had to conquer my fear of this awesome ride. And I was so scared of this, I felt like I was gonna crap my pants. The whole time, every time I saw it, I was thinking, oh no, don't make me do it. I don't want to. I want to. I have to. No. Over and over again, this ridiculous back and forth in my own brain. And we finally went on it one night, and this is amazing. This is such an incredible attraction. It's probably the spookiest Tower of Terror around the world, and it has its own original storyline, which I did not take in whatsoever because I was so scared. Every step closer and closer to getting on the ride itself felt like I was signing my own death warrant, and the dread just grew and grew and grew, and somehow I went through with it. I got through the pre-show, which was amazing, and we sat down on the ride, and I got ready to film it because I figured filming is like a little safety blanket. It's like this barrier between me and confronting something that makes me uncomfortable. It sounds very childish, but in this case, I really needed that. I wasn't ready to handle the full brute force of this terrifying experience, and the ride attendant dressed in a very spooky, scary uniform came up and told me to turn my camera off, and I wanted to cry. And we started moving up, and I was so blown away by the beauty and the awe and the terror of the incredible view of Tokyo DisneySea from the top of the Tower of Terror, and then the realization that we're about to fall downwards, and then it happened, and it wasn't that bad. I didn't love it, I wasn't crazy about the dropping feeling, but I started laughing from relief, and then I was having fun, and I was enjoying the drops, and it was great. And the rush of adrenaline I got getting off of this ride is like nothing else. Even talking about it makes me relive some of that panic and dread. I would love to rewrite this again one day, maybe without the drops, because it's such an awesome ride, and I think it's definitely well worth experiencing. It is one of the tamer Tower of Terror attractions around the world. Because of the restraints, you put seatbelts on, so you don't get quite as much of that floating airtime as you do with the other rides. Which, hey, that works for me. If this was scary enough for me, I'm not sure I'll be going on any other drop tower attractions around the world, but this was amazing. So that's all the areas of Tokyo DisneySea and the rides, but there are other ways to experience the park, which are the transport systems, which are kind of attractions within their own right. Because the whole park is such an immersive 360-degree experience, it's something you really wish you could experience all in one go somehow to fully encapsulate it, and the transport options here are the perfect way to do that. There's the streetcar thing that goes from Port Discovery to the American waterfront, which is really beautiful. This is such a lovely way to see the park. We got to enjoy this at nighttime with some amazing views. And there's also the boats that go from the Mediterranean harbour and go all around through the mysterious island, around Mermaid Lagoon, through Lost River Delta, and back around past Port Discovery, the American waterfront, and back to the Mediterranean harbour again. This is fantastic and one of the most relaxing, beautiful things you could do at any theme park in the world. So that wraps up my visit to Tokyo DisneySea. I won't waste time trying to capture whether or not I enjoyed this place, because I did. I loved it. This is my favorite park anywhere in the world. I think it's the best theme park ever, and it's somewhere you have to visit in your lifetime. It should be a law. I don't care what crap you've got going on in your life, just deal with it so you can get to Tokyo DisneySea, and your life will be complete. Maybe that's a little extreme. I know everyone's not as fortunate to be able to come here, and I'm so grateful I was able to, because it changed my life, and that's amazing. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Mr. YumYum's Trip Report. Stay tuned for the next episode where I go to Universal Studios Osaka. A big thank you to the members and sponsors of Team YumYum: Randall, Maloney's Coasters, Kai on the Internet, Oogie Boogie, Theme Park Ogre, Jordan Casey, Johnny Boy 175, The Downy Cat, Mika, Carrie Jekin, Smathmo the Awesome, Aston, Breezy, Koala75, Audrey Allen, Senpai's JP Blue Dog, Senpai's JP Red Dog, Wayne Hewitt, Lee Donald, SWCV1, Sienna, The Kez, and the latest member of Team YumYum, Lexi Marie. Thank you so much again for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.